We'll start with exponents. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 can be written with a base 3 and an exponent 5. The exponent or power is 5. It represents the number of times the base 3 is used as a factor. The expression 3 with an exponent of 5 is read 3 to the 5th power. The expression 6 to the 2nd power could also be read 6 squared. We multiply 6 times 6 and its value is 36. Next we have 5 to the 3rd power, also called 5 cubed. So that's 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. 2 to the 4th power, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 16. Looking at square roots next. To find the positive square root of a number, that is to reverse the process of squaring. For example, the square root of 25 is equivalent to asking what positive number, when squared, gives us 25. So the radical symbol is used to denote the positive square root of a number. Therefore, the square root of 25 says what number times itself gives us 25, and the answer is 5. The square root of 9 says what number times itself gives us 9, and the answer is 3. Next, we have the square root of 64. And the square root of 64 is 8, because 8 squared is 64. The square root of 1 is 1. And the square root of 0 is 0. Next, we're going to look at order of operations. The first step is to perform all operations inside parentheses or other grouping symbols. Sometimes we have other symbols that are grouping symbols. Okay, next we're going to simplify any expressions that have exponents or square roots. The third step is to perform multiplication or division in order from left to right. So we don't necessarily multiply before we divide. We do whichever comes first with multiplication and division. And finally, we do addition or subtraction in order from left to right. So in my first example, 15 minus 10 divided by 2 plus 3, we're going to start by working with the division, because we do multiplications and divisions before adding and subtracting. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we have 15 minus 5 plus 3. So we're going to go in order and we will subtract. 15 minus 5 is 10, plus 3 is 13. So our order here was to do division, then subtraction, then addition. Next, we're going to start within the parentheses and do 5 minus 3, which is 2. So we have 12 minus 2 times 2. Now multiplication occurs before subtraction, so the next step is to multiply. So we have 12 minus 4, which is 8. So our order was to do what's in the parentheses first, then multiplication, then subtraction. Here we're going to start within the parentheses doing 7 minus 2. And 7 minus 2 is 5. And next we're going to do the exponents. We have a 5 squared and a 2 squared. So 5 squared is 5 times 5 or 25. 2 squared is 4. And then we will divide and then multiply. So 300 divided by 25 is 12. And last we multiply times 4 is 48. When we have a fraction bar, we're going to do the numerator, the denominator, and divide last. So do the top first, and then the bottom, and divide last. So in the numerator, we're going to do 3 squared, which is 9. And next we're going to do 6 times 1, which is 6. And 9 plus 6 is 15. In the denominator, we just subtract and we divide last. 15 divided by 3 equals 5. And here are some skill practice problems for you to work out on paper.